Hey guys, so my verdict on niching down. Niching is where you get your business so that it niches on one thing. Now, I wasn't going to get rid of all the things I do because, for a start, I play loads of different instruments, so I'm not going to get rid of them all. But more the way that they're marketed would be niche. So, for example, they'd all have their own YouTube channel, they'd all have their own, Facebook or whatever. So let me tell you how I got on. Absolute nightmare. I mean, the most boring month of my life. I'm over it now. The niching down has come to an end. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't niche down. I wouldn't dream of saying that. But I'm just giving you my version of what occurred. Now, if you've got a team of people who you're paying minimum wage and they're all doing the work for you, different kettle of fish. But when you're doing it all on your own, your life becomes a factory. Your working life. You'll be up. You don't get any less work done just because you've niched. No, my friends. In fact, it's harder because now you have to sort of compartmentalize every word that you speak. Now, the big thing that I have taken from this month is that I am now interacting with so many robots online. Well, I don't interact with them, actually. I ignore them. So if you want more robots in your life, more automations in your life, by all means go ahead and do it, but there's absolutely no point. What is the point in being robotic, talking to robots, producing robotic content? What is the point? Is that going to solve world crises? Is that going to enlighten anyone? No, it's not. Bloody rubbish. So first of all, I guess the overriding thing I noticed was that you don't need to do that on YouTube. On YouTube, if you've got playlists or podcasts, the niching is already done for you. Yes, the podcast should be a bit niche. So this podcast is mostly about, well, it's music. It's me as a musician. It's my music. It's books about music. Occasionally I'll stick a sci-fi thing in there. It's music chords, it's Suzuki music, all the other things that I do. So it's basically music. So, with reference, when I'm talking about niching down, I'm referring to the music. I mean, that's what I do. It's my bloody job. Absolute waste of time. So I deleted lots and lots of podcasts and niched down, and my YouTube visits went down to 0 from, thousands in a week. Bloody 0. Now, I realise that, if I had a lifetime ahead of me, well, I have, but I'm not going to spend it on the internet. I mean, this is the thing. I've come away this month and I just think I need a life. I haven't been out. I haven't, well, I don't drink anyway, but I've done absolutely bog all except work, all hours of the day and night, and it has not improved things. So don't bother doing that on YouTube. Definitely have your playlists on YouTube, though. I do agree with that. That does seem to work. So, for example, I'm doing all my podcasts on they're by default a different sort of playlist. So they're all right. They're all done. I've got 8 podcasts, and they cover all my avenues. So I guess to a degree, 2 of those are working okay, but the others are, they're sort of on the back burner. I mean, I'm not going to stress over them. I'm going to update once a week and just leave them for a couple of years, because it takes a couple of years for your podcast to gain traction. So my 2 podcasts that I do already have traction. They're older than 2 years. So they're all right. They're where the money is, as it were. But the rest of them, even if I put up 100 podcast stories or whatever, I'm not going to get, I might make a penny. So rather just wait the 2 years and then do all that. There's no point doing it now. It's not about quantity when you haven't been recognised as Google. You're not at the sandbox yet. So things like Hello Cat, things like LinkedIn. I'm losing my voice, guys. I can't do my narration today for the film because it's going because I've got, yes, darling, it's going because I've got a viral infection, otherwise known as a cold. My mum's got it and now I've got it. So I can't do my narration because obviously that narration is going to be around forever and people will be able to hear. So that's not going to happen today. So I'm going to have a week off. Yippee. LinkedIn, I had nobody on my LinkedIn as a friend or a contact for months and months and months. And then I had one sort of link up via Twitter, who was a robot. And now I have every day tens of robots asking to friend me. And then they call it connecting in LinkedIn land. And then they message me and they're pretending to be human. Hi, how you doing? I see you're a writer. Let's chat. And then you're like, no, F off. You're not a bloody person. And anyway, I don't want to talk to other writers. Why do I want to talk to other writers? Thank you. I've got enough problems in my own writing head. I don't need to, listen to anybody else. So that's been really annoying. My Twitter is all robots. Just robots, robots, robots. Infuriating. Loads of messages. Just ignore them. I was doing the writer's lift for a while, but that's all robots as well. So you're not actually getting yourself out there as a person. If you're doing a Kindle book, maybe a Kindle colouring in book or something like that. But if you want more out of your life, if you want actually people to understand your thought process, because you're a proper bloody artist, whether that's a literary artist or a poet or a painter or a musician, if you're trying to connect as a human being, don't bother niching. Don't bother with it. Human beings are not niche. I mean, okay, if I was trying to push a cooking show and what's really diverse, I can't think of anything because I was going to say a travel show, but they could so easily overlap. And I was going to say keep fit, but food and keep fit could really easily overlap. And actually, so could travel, because travel is about walking and climbing mountains and, going to new places and experiencing things that require you to move your body. So, of course, there's an overlap. And what niching doesn't allow are these beautiful, wonderful human overlaps. And you know what I think? I think actually by doing this, because YouTube is telling you to niche and everywhere's telling you to niche and do a fucking reel. I mean, I'm sick of reels. I can't get how to play a viola or a cello in a reel. All I can do is get some marketing done, which just adds loads of robots who have no interest in learning how to play cello. Do you see what I'm saying? It's really destroyed my life today. I just feel like I've wasted a month. Another wasted month in my life that, I'm in the final trimester of. And the last thing I have is time to experiment and waste. So no more experiments. That's that now. And no more niching. I'll formally thank Neil Patel for duping me. No, look, he didn't. If marketing's your bag, and you work for a company, and you really want, to push yourself, maybe it's for you, but it's not for me. It's not for true artists, and I don't think the internet is for true artists. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mean don't go on there if you're a true artist. But what I mean is, if you're a real artist, you're not going to be satisfied with it. Obviously, you have to be on there to a degree. I mean, you have to get some marketing done, but I just don't think you need to be a slave to it. And all this stuff they tell us to do, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's robots telling us we need to do more robotic things so that they could understand us in a more robotic way and pass it on to more robotic people. It's just fucking robots eating fucking robots. I mean, it's infuriating. Go to a live gig, have a live music lesson with a real teacher. Write some real songs, not using AI. Speak your voice, not using AI. don't use robots at all, in fact. I mean, I went through this phase of pretending I was AI, and I've really come out the other side of it now because I'm so not anything to do with AI. I'm so remotely linked to AI, it's untrue. So if I ever told you I was half AI, I've got rid of the other half. The other half no longer exists. It's so boring. So bloody boring. Anyway, in other news, how am I going with all my channels? I mean, I've got a lot of YouTube channels now. I'm not going to update them regularly. They've all, in fact, I'm not going to update them at all. They're all linked to my podcasts. I don't need to do anything now. And I suppose that's the one good thing about niching down. I've automated my system pretty much so that I don't have to go on to any social media because they're automatically shared. I don't have to go on to YouTube ever, actually, because I can automatically share. And I can automatically share from my Vimeo hosted account as well, which is where my school is, the new Suzuki school. So all I have to do every day now is play my cello or play my piano or my new viola when it arrives. And that's what I'm going to do. So I tell you what, well, let's do an experiment. Let's do only real human live stuff for the next month and see what happens. And then I'll let you know. Yeah. So I've got loads of plans actually for sort of live quick stuff as well. I mean, I know I said reels hack me off, but when I do a little broadcast on my podcast, it automatically goes to YouTube and automatically becomes a short, which is really useful because I don't have to touch YouTube. I hate YouTube. I liked it the other day. I hate it today. I absolutely hate it. They get everything wrong. Some of your shorts they say aren't shorts, and they're like exactly the same format as the last short, exactly the same place they've been shared from, and yet you're and then they don't update your figures quickly enough, so you're always a day or 2 days behind, which is infuriating. That when your time is limited and you want to do things like now, the internet actually doesn't make things faster and easier. That's a myth that they're telling us. It actually doesn't do that, guys. I promise you it doesn't. I've got a feeling about how people are going to, in another 2 years, definitely another decade, they're going to be so hacked off with automations, digital automations. And they're going to be so, in terms of entertainment, I mean, look, for tools, it's spot on, you can't fault it. Automated tools, but they're so limited, aren't they? How many apps have you got on your phone? I've got hundreds, because no one app does enough. So you have to go to several different apps to get the one little thing that you needed. Wouldn't it have been easier just to go to a teacher or just to ask somebody who knows? And it would have been not only easier, it would have been more pleasant. Because I really do predict that people are going to get so pissed off with it. I think that eventually the internet is not going to be our go-to. I don't know if you've been around a while, but TV used to be our go-to. It used to be where we got our information. It used to be where everything, fashion, music, news, everything, absolutely everything. But it wasn't 24/7. You'd have to wait for Top of the Pops to see stuff, or you'd listen to the radio. Radio was lovely back in the day. It's really lovely. But that was all we knew and all we went to. And then now it's the internet. And I've just got a feeling that the internet will disappear as fast as it came. I can't imagine what would replace it. But the current way that Google manages the internet, I think is just horrific. And I think it's going to destroy human brains. But us humans are clever, and we'll know that. And so it'll be us that change that. So don't be afraid.